There it is. What's up?
How you doing, man?
I am super.
Are you
Thanks
ready?
for asking.
Oh, I will always ask. Here we go.
Boom.
Hi, I'm Jason.
And I'm Greg.
We are Gen X, and welcome to our podcast.
Bienvenidos a mi
We're the last generation to grow up
podcasto.
without internet.
Or computers.
We're the last
Horrible.
generation
Bienvenidos.
outside all day.
Welcome, everybody. I want to give a shout out to all of our listeners, all of our followers, all of our subscribers, all of our people, anyone and everyone who takes your time to consume our content, takes your time to consume our content. Thank you, guys. We greatly appreciate each and every one of you. Over on TikTok, we do have exclusive content that YouTube will not allow. It's just more music and behind the scenes shit, to be honest with you. But
Yeah.
our Instagram is hurting. Give us some love over there. People our age, our main focus is Facebook and TikTok. So YouTube, follow us on YouTube if you haven't already. So thank you, guys. A shout out to our Monday crew. Those guys who tune in each and every Monday to catch our latest, crispiest,
And hit that little
newest
jingle bell
episode.
so it lets you know when we're coming on.
Like, subscribe, and jingle. So here's our plan. We go live on Thursday. It goes away. I do a little edit and I release it on Sunday, and then everybody has the fresh, new edited version. I cut the gaps. I make all the times when I go. I cut all that stuff out. You know what I mean? I just make it all smooth.
Make us very smooth.
So anyways, that's what we're doing tonight. Before we even jump into this topic, we have to really, sell it to people because nobody's ever heard of this. So before we jump into all of this, Gregory, tell us something goodery. I did it.
Dang, I had an idea what I was going to talk about too. We had a rainstorm last night.
Oh God, we
Did
did.
Did we get rain and thunders?
We did. We got lots.
That was pretty dope.
That was good.
Except that I had to go rush out and watch my driveway and hope it didn't flood because I got a whole summers with the leaves and stuff around the little hole. I got the driveway that goes down.
Yep.
It catches all the rain and it goes down to a little tiny pipe. And I was worried it was going to flood my house last night. So I have to, if it's raining like that in the middle of the night and I don't have it all set up for the winter, then I have to stay up and watch it because it only takes one leaf to plug that hole. And then it all goes in my downstairs.
Oh,
yeah. So I got like that much room. And if the water gets taller than that, it starts going in my house.
let's do some cement work. Let's do some brick work.
It's the pipe goes all the way under my house to the backyard. So I'd have to jackhammer out the floor all the way through my house and increase the size of the pipe.
That's a risk I'm willing to take, sir.
Someday when I have the budget for that project,
Oh
it
my
is
goodness.
getting done.
Alrighty.
Yeah, but getting a little rain was kind of nice last night.
Yeah. Isn't there like a way to just like sandbag that little area and just kind of divert it just down the hill?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I do. So in the winter, we cover the door, we put a bunch of sandbags, and then I put a bilge pump. Is that what they're called?
Sump pump.
Sump pump. Yep. I put a sump pump with the hose going up into the grass so that if anything goes wrong, I can just plug that dude in.
Use the word awry.
Awry.
Yeah, if anything goes
If
awry.
anything goes sideways.
Only shit goes sideways.
Yeah.
I think only shit can go sideways.
Oh yeah.
And shit can only hit the fan.
Shit doesn't go awry though.
No, things go
Things
awry.
go awry. And the word for podcast in Spanish is podcast
Is it? It's not
Or-
podcast, though.
or el podcast.
El podcast. Podcast or the podcast.
Le podcast.
This week, we want to hear from you, our listeners. Anybody who is tuning in and watching this, we put a link in the description. There's a link in the comments. There's plenty of links everywhere. Click the link. We'll put you on the show. Speak your mind. I agree. I disagree. Whatever you have to say, pretty much. You know what I mean? As long as you're not going to start calling names and getting all ugly with it. You know what I mean? And say, I feel, I believe. Then say whatever the hell you like. It's kind of what we're here for.
But
You're
let's
not-
listen for a second. I heard that we sound very crackly. Yeah, that's coming through a little crackly. What's up with
Hi.
that?
I don't know.
Why are we very crackly? We get technical difficulties
Why, though?
every week now.
I don't want that. Can't want that. Uh-oh.
How can we tell if we're cracklish?
Did it freeze?
Do we?
Okay, let's just start over. We'll just do it over again. But no, because then that link, none of those. Well, the link will still work. We won't be in that video. Are you in on studio?
Yeah.
You're in as a co-host.
Yeah.
So if I reset mine, what happens to yours? It's still good. Stay in there, right?
Okay. Let's see what happens. As long as you don't have to restart your whole computer, because that'll take a minute.
Okay. Hey, we're back. Thank you guys for looking
How's
out for
that?
us, making it sound all crunchy. I assume we sound better.
Are we better now?
Now it's a can't hear you now.
We can't hear anything.
Oh my goodness, Becky. Test. You should be able to hear us. My screen says you can hear us.
Yeah, I see the little green dots jumping.
Yes. Okay. Good Lord. Okay. All righty then. Maybe these are signs and signals. Ooh, I don't think so. Anyways, technical difficulties.
I think we can't start it too early.
No,
We set up the studio and stuff, and then we wait, and I think that we end up
eating
something.
all the memory.
Oh, hey, the comments. There we go.
All right. Okay, we're good. Love it. Okay, hey, you know we're in.
Hey, look at that.
This week we want to hear from you. Like we were saying, the link is in the description. If anybody who's watching, find the description. We're on YouTube, and the comments or the description of the video has a link. Click that link, put in your name, accept the cookies, and blah, blah, blah. You'll show up on stage. We'll let you in. You want to speak on it, what we're about to watch? Speak on it. I have 5 or 6, 7 videos we're going to watch, and then we'll just open it up for comment. Kind of want to hear your opinion on these things. So find the link. Go ahead and click it. Go ahead and join in.
It's in the comments.
It's in the comments. You can join right there on your phone.
Join right in.
Okay.
And I'll try to keep an eye on the studio. All your videos are gone.
I gotta load those again. Yay.
Yay.
This is all right. So the first video right here. Are you guys ready?
Are you ready for video number 1?
Conservative, and I just want to kind of ask you, like, what do you have to say for people like me who kind of feel like, I guess, it's kind of hard for gay conservatives because there's not a lot of us. So, like, what do you have to say to other gay people who need to realize, like, they do have a choice?
Yeah, first of all, welcome to the conservative movement. I don't think you should introduce yourself just based on your sexual attractions.
No, I agree. I like
because that's not who you are.
I like to be thought of as a person, and
for sure, you are a complete human being, and I'm sure you treat people well, and you're studying something. So I want to get away with this idea that you're gay anything. I just think that we have gone a long way in the negative direction in this country, where we act as if the most important part of your identity is what you do in the bedroom. It doesn't mean that much to me, but if you ask from a perspective as a Christian, I don't agree with that lifestyle, but politics is about addition and multiplication. I imagine you agree with a lot of what we talk about.
Absolutely.
Right? Strong borders, strong country, and for that, we welcome you into the conservative movement.
thank you.
That's so extreme.
Okay. So no, let's break it down. Let's break it down as if, we are not fans or not we're in favor. Let's say that be objective about it. Right? He told that kid, you don't have to introduce yourself as gay because that's not who you are.
Yeah, that shouldn't be the first word you use to describe yourself in any circumstance.
But is it wrong if I do? And what if, devil's advocate here, and what if I choose that to be a part of my identity? For a long time, I was a DJ. I never really introduced myself as DJ Jason, but I got recognized a lot as a DJ. You know what I mean? So I can introduce myself. That's part of my title. That's part of who I am, right? But he told that kid because that's not who you are. And
yeah, because like the same thing about when you ask someone like, so what do you do? Oh, I'm a plumber. I'm in construction. People immediately, you go, what do you do? And they go, oh, that's my job. I identify with what my job is.
Yeah.
I identify as a tradesman somehow.
My identity
instead
is,
of just
yeah,
like, oh, I ride dirt bikes on the weekend, or I love
Yeah.
to crochet.
yeah. Oh, I'm a father of 3. I'm a brother of 5,
Yeah.
4. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 1 of 5.
Yeah.
So I could see where somebody could want to pivot on that because that's not who you are. Completely dismissing his identity that he's claiming, the struggle, maybe I'm assuming, of being, keeping it hidden until he, came out. You know what I mean? Or maybe the reaction from his family. Maybe he's just, you know what I mean. And for him to kind of say, you don't have to introduce yourself that way because that's not who you are.
That seems reasonable.
I could see somebody having is like an issue with that. I could see that part.
Yeah.
Saying. I was kind of hoping somebody would jump in out there. Come on, guys. Listen, jump in.
Everybody's got the link.
Everybody's got the link. Anyways, we do have a few people watching, and thank you guys for tuning in. So, tonight is not necessarily like my opinion, Greg's opinion. It's just like we're kind of trying to navigate this, be a little objective, ask the obvious questions, and kind of just sit with it and just see kind of where it all lands. Right now, it's obvious, that we both believe in God. We're both Christians, and so we're not like anti this in any way, shape, or form. But there's a few of these views I think would be stretched for me. Not stretched, but like I'd be like, well, let me understand more. Hold on a second, right? So there would be a few of these I would just be open to, maybe because of my line of work and because of where I'm at, because of kind of what I'm doing. You know what I mean? But I'm not saying I would disagree in any of these. Some of these I'd be like, let's talk about it, right?
You are in the thick of it.
I am in the thick of it. All right, here we go.
That's the quote you always see.
All right,
Yeah.
let me tell you exactly what I said,
Sure thing,
okay?
thank you.
So this was in response, first and foremost, to United Airlines saying that half of all their new pilots that they're going to hire are going to be women or people of color. Currently, they're 15%.
Okay.
So they want to go from 15% to 50%. A conversation then ensued about how every time affirmative action is employed, standards have to be lowered. There's not a single instance where that does not occur. So then I said, boy, if I see a black pilot, I'm now going to wonder, is that individual qualified, or were they selected because of their race? Comma, but that's not who I am, but this makes me think this way. And I stand completely by that statement.
Okay.
Secondly, let me just finish.
Sure, yeah, sorry.
DEI and affirmative action, what it does is it lowers the merit, it lowers the threshold of standards, and increases things that do not matter, such as skin color and ethnic background. So that is what I said.
Okay.
Now, a more important question to ask me is, Charlie, do you believe that black pilots can be qualified? Of course, any individual can be qualified. I want a hiring quota and program that only cares about qualification, not skin color. And thirdly, I would say, why does United Airlines care so much about the color of the pilots that are flying them? Shouldn't they just want the best pilots? When you guys are flying from Vegas to Dallas or Vegas to Chicago, are you going to feel safer or more comfortable when you hit turbulence if you have a diverse pilot, or if you have a cockpit of the most qualified people that are there that have proven that they know how to land and fly planes?
How do you feel about legacies in that regard? Because legacies obviously have a leg up in getting into certain institutions just based on who went there before them that is close to them.
How do I feel? I think legacies are somewhat against merit, to be consistent.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
just want to make sure you're consistent.
But I will say, though, that the study of legacies have been done because their parents are smart. They're usually actually pretty smart. And so the moving average is that legacies aren't nearly as unqualified as some affirmative action people, but there are plenty of unqualified legacies that get into Ivy League institutions, to be consistent.
When did the whole DEI thing start anyways? That was like from the 90s, 80s? Because I remember hearing about it like, you just heard about it like fire departments or police departments or something having quotas for the certain numbers of types of people that they were supposed to hire and stuff.
I remember some flavor of that. Again, I think we were in school when we were hearing about affirmative action. I don't think we were in the workplace then
Yeah.
when that hit the news and that we were hearing about that. And it was explained little differently the way I remember it. It was, it was more of an open door for minorities to get, and it still spoke of like qualified individuals, but it was like a line that qualified minorities could still stand in. There was never a flavor of just because you're a minority or of color.
Or like trying to get to some certain threshold, like 50% of our pilots have to be diverse in some kind of way. Like that just seems like
that
a
many
crazy hiring standard.
Pilots of color looking for jobs? Then yes, do it.
Yeah, right.
But do like
if
like
they
he
pass
was
all
saying,
the tests, don't lower the standards. It's like the women in combat thing. I feel the same way sort of about that. Like we shouldn't lower the standards. If you can't carry me 220 pounds up that hill to save my life, you shouldn't be here with us, because that's how we train. Like, I don't care how big you are. Like the 115-pound guy had to be able to put the big dude on his shoulders and carry him up that hill. In my unit, that's what we did. Like everyone had to be able to carry everyone else at some point. Otherwise you were out. So I sort of feel the same way. Like it's a qualifications thing. And we shouldn't lower the standards in order to make things happen.
Ronda Rousey could do it.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like,
Ronda
I'm
Rousey,
not
come on
saying
the
that
show.
there aren't combat chicks,
Ronda Rousey,
but
come on the show.
but when we try to hit certain numbers like that, or we need this many women in combat or whatever kind of stuff like that, it just seems like you do. There's not a single instance where you don't have to lower the standards in order to make that happen.
What do you think about a separate line for qualified folks of color?
Separate line? What do you mean?
They get kind of like what like the schools would call like priority registration. Priority applications.
I thought this was done with, dude. I thought that all of that shit was solved when we were in school, bro. Like, why this is an issue again? I thought Martin Luther King fixed all this for us.
I don't know.
That's the way we talked about it in the school. Martin Luther King came along, civil rights. We were good to go. We weren't talking about black people. We weren't talking about any of that, dude. Like, we had 2 guys in our school that didn't speak English or spoke very little English. Humberto and Francisco, come on the show, boys. But they weren't outcasts. Like, they played kickball with us. We weren't mean to them. There was no racial divide, especially in a white ass ripping.
Duh.
But you think that in a town like that we would have what outcast those guys and they wouldn't have been able to fit in, but that was not the case ever. We had one black guy in our high school. They were from Africa. Everybody loved those guys.
Yeah.
Like,
we're still friends on Facebook. We still talk.
He keeps telling me to come visit him.
Manuel.
Someday I'm going to Ghana. But
it looks like it's warm there year round. I never see him in a fucking jacket or anything.
I want to sleep on the roof.
He's like always mixing music or just cooking stuff. You know what I mean? And I'm like, he's always, there's never cold or anything. I don't know.
It just seemed like we had this stuff solved back in the 80s and it was brought back on purpose or something to achieve some sort of objective. But the fact that we're talking about it again just always blows me away because.
So let's be objective and step outside of our box, our culture, our everything, and take a look at the bird's eye view of everybody else to the best of our objective ability, right? Racism exists. It's a thing. There are people who hate other people just because of a skin, background, last name, affiliation, whatever, right? And sometimes these people are in positions of power. And they will use their personal values and feelings to harm, exclude, or promote the bias, right?
Right.
That happens. That's a real thing. So, if the program was designed to give qualified minorities a shot at the title, that's systematically locking minorities out, nepotism for one, right?
It's just the same thing in the opposite way. It's still most qualified. If a black dude or Mexican dude is the most qualified, that's who should get hired. But if it's a guy running his own personal company and he wants to run his company in the ground because he only hires dumb white guys, like, run your company into the ground, bro. I don't know that we should be regulating it.
Fair.
That's what I don't know.
Well,
I don't think about these things very deeply very often.
well, I
but
mean,
I
because
could just-
these doors aren't open to everyone. They're just not. And that can be facts. So how do you address that? We agree you can't just go handing everybody a job because we feel bad. That
Right.
doesn't work for the
Yeah.
job.
No.
But to identify qualified folks for whatever job it is, to ensure they get a fair shot at the same jobs that are typically already taken before they even get to them, is fair. How come it's not like that? I'm looking at you like you're responsible for the
Yeah, I
whole thing.
don't know, like, all right, or why I'm supposed to have all the answers to everything. No. Yeah, I don't know, dude. People are crazy.
Okay. That's a good one. All right, let's jump on number 3 here.
How are you? So earlier in your speech, you said that 1 in 5 Americans, no, 1 in 5 people in this country will be illegal.
Yes.
In 3 years. In 3 years. You proposed that securing our borders will help this situation, but I also think that our green card / citizenship process is a problem. So how do you suggest that we make it easier for people who want to get in this country legally to do that?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you. I agree with part of that. I don't think, so there's this idea that we have to make it easier to get into the country. I probably agree with that. So I think that we should have a moratorium on immigration right now. I think we got to slow down. We have way too many people coming into America. We got to throttle back and digest the meal. We got to allow assimilation to happen. We have way too many people coming into America. Now, that's not saying legal immigration shouldn't go up again. I think it could be a phenomenal asset to America, and it has been a phenomenal asset. But many times in American history, specifically the 1950s and early 1960s, we ratcheted back to almost zero immigration into America. The reason is post-World War II. Of course, there was a lot of damage in other places, but there was plenty of people that wanted to come to America in the 1950s, a ton. Think about it. Europe is destroyed. But they said, we have a moral obligation to World War II veterans to make sure they have good wages, good jobs, and we're going to deliver for them. That was a moral argument, right? And so legal immigration should always be viewed through the prism, does it benefit the country and the citizens that are already here? Currently, our legal immigration system is so messed up that we prioritize the people that don't share Western values, and we don't bring the people that could potentially share Western values. I'll give you an example. The best example of how our legal immigration system is messed up is Minneapolis. Have you been to Minneapolis in the last 5 years? It is unrecognizable. And when you come into this country and you have someone like Ilhan Omar that talks endlessly about how awful America is, despite being a beneficiary of the generosity and benevolence of America, I say there's something fundamentally wrong with that, right? Now, I contrast that with some amazing immigrants that come here legally that learn the pledge and they mesh beautifully into American society. So where's the balance? Right now, we have to slow down, throttle it back. We're doing things way too quickly. Our green card system has 1 million people coming in every single year. Instead, I want people that fit into the American experiment, fit into the story. And that's not a racial thing, by the way, at all, whatsoever. I believe that Cubans can make and will make and do make the greatest Americans in America. It's not a racial thing. Instead, you look at it and say, wow, is this actually making America more free and fulfilling our obligation to our fellow countrymen? What I just said, I get attacked wildly for. I don't care. It's true, and someone needs to say it. And opening your borders, say anyone can come for any reason whatsoever, regardless if they speak the language, regardless if they agree with Western values, regardless of their belief in the Constitution, it's wrong. And it's destroying the country from within. It is. And you see it in Minneapolis. You have Ilhan Omar elected to public office. She is the mascot for an immigration moratorium. You see her, you're like, there's something wrong with that. She has nothing but negative, vile, mean things to say about America when she was rescued in a Kenyan refugee camp and brought in by our own benevolence. Guess what? Our generosity has been taken advantage over the last 20 years. It's time we put our citizens first. Thank you.
Oh, there he is. All right. Hey, we have our first guest, man.
Let's see what Mikey has to say
Let's give
about
a
it.
shout out to Mike. Always a good time with Mike. There we are. Oh, wait.
What up, fellas?
Wait, I want to get it to where it's both of us. What up, man? How are you?
I'm good.
Wait.
Late night at the office. Apologize for the late entry.
It's this one. No. It's not that one. I just don't get to be on.
No, you have to be on. Lean in.
Let me lean in here.
All right, Mike. Hey, so which one did you want to chime in on? Did you have something already? I mean, I've seen your social media. I you know what I mean? I see your current profile stuff. I get it. What do you have to
Yeah,
say, my
I
friend?
just I really liked his opinions on all of it. Immigration, mainly faith. The direction of our country, the transgender issues, I really have been thinking along the same lines. For the past, it seems like a decade that this has been an upcoming issue. When the borders became open during the last administration, and they stayed open, is like how are we doing this? How are we protecting, especially the people that live close to that border? I mean, having to have all these people like come through and nobody's stopping them, and they're doing whatever they want at will. Um, and I'm sure there are some, good people in there, but you got to sift through that. I mean, there's a process. I mean, my parents, my grandparents on my mother's side were immigrants to the United States. They did it the right way. They worked hard, made something of themselves, was able to raise a family, and here I am as a citizen. Um, yeah, I don't know. Do you have any questions for me? I mean, his faith and how he put that on the forefront of everything that he spoke about always, sparked something inside me, and opened my ears and my heart, I guess, when it comes to seeing these videos and these clips, more than anything. But yeah, I just kind of never really disagreed and felt like my thought process was along the same lines of as pretty much everything that uh that he spoke about. I just feel like the hardworking middle class American doesn't have a voice anymore, and I think that's who he spoke up for, and that's me.
Right.
Did it affect where you work or your industry that you work in? All the immigrants coming in?
I work in a skilled field, with and I'm one of the few people in the state that still work, under the DOT. There's a pretty big background check to be able to work where I work, and where I work doesn't matter, but it's, it took me a long time to get into the company that I'm in, and it was, my background and my skill set and work history is why I'm working for the company that I work for.
You're not going
So
to
it
pull
didn't
off your
really affect
job just
me.
because you showed up.
Yeah.
You're not going to
Yeah.
pull off your job, Mike. I get it. I know. You know what I mean?
I
You're
will
not.
say that the more people that pay their bills, the better the budget is probably for me. But I believe for the most part, generally most people are paying their bills, and I believe my company is profitable. Um, and we can discuss that at length some other day. Um, but yeah, I will say the one thing that is affecting my job, and it's not illegals, but it is the homelessness and the drug epidemic and the mental current state of people, especially here in California. When I was at the power plant and where I'm at now, the amount of theft
Yeah.
is just insane. It's like the power plant I was at was storing electric cars like that had a defect or a recall on them, and people were just walking in there at night, hijacking these electric cars, cutting through the fence or driving through the fence onto my plant, trying to find an access point out. And they're not driving, the posted 5 to 10 mile per hour speed limit. They're driving as fast as they can, taking turns, blowing through fences. If I would have thought about bringing that up, I'd have sent you some of the pictures of fences that, I came
go and
in
fix.
on my shift and just seeing these cars just blow through, and but then, we have the abandoned plant next door, and we call them copper miners, people that are going to power plants and looking for any type of copper or any type of salvageable metal or anything that they can pick up and steal. I mean, they're coming in from the river on boats, cutting through the fence, and just the amount of theft. My work truck in certain areas is a target.
Yeah.
Right.
They see that. Well, they see any type of utility truck, and it's a target. It's the amount of it's just the amount of theft is, and the more homeless, the more people that we have that are unable to make their way because of unemployment or income or what have you. I mean, the more it's going to be. I mean, our country has so much problems with our own citizens that we need to address, that we need to quit. In my opinion, we need to quit spending the millions and millions and billions, upon whatever, I don't know the numbers, but spending all that money focusing on people that didn't even have the right to be here, that just walked across because they were tired of where they were at. And I know there's different stories. There's two sides to every coin, and I get that. But we can't even take care of the people that we have.
Right.
Yeah.
Why do we want millions upon millions more? Why are we just saying, like, yeah, come on in? My father lives in the Netherlands, and he says that it's just crazy, and it's getting so crowded because they're having open borders too. And the people that are making the rules and saying it's okay are not the people in the positions that are suffering,
Yeah,
that
they're
are
not
getting
affected by it,
overcrowded,
right?
that are, and the lesser jobs, like losing. I know there's a lot of people that don't feel like working at all, and having a handout is like, what they would rather do first. And there's a lot of people that are willing to do work for a lot less money that are walking across the borders. And I'm sure um, our agricultural system would, especially like in the central states, because I just seen a show where they tried like different things. They got rid of all the illegals, and somebody had to come in and do the work. And they had like they tried to get prisoners to do it. They tried to get whatever. Everything was failing. The only thing that seemed to work was, undocumented employees.
Right.
And I get that too. But there's at some point, the reservoir is going to get too full and the dam's going to break,
Right.
and the only people that are going to suffer are us that are in the mix of it. All these people in their high towers and whatever, and have all these opinions, especially these Hollywood people that,
Our entertainers, our court jesters.
not also not
Yeah.
affected by any of this.
You mean the court jesters?
But you
Okay.
remember when we were
Yes.
kids that it was like, it was seasonal. There was times when Ripon was I wouldn't say overrun, whatever, like it just, there was immigrants that came in to do the seasonal work, and then they went back to Mexico. They didn't come here and stay. There was a program where they were allowed to come here legally for a certain number of months and then go back to Mexico and take all that money with them. Like we have programs that worked for decades that take care of all this. Well, who's going to pick the fruit and who's going to clean the hotel rooms? I also don't like that argument because it sounds a lot like they're just good for slave labor.
Yeah.
Low qualification, menial jobs and stuff like that. Because where I'm at, I'm affected more like by the H-1B visa thing. You know, I've worked in companies where your entire engineering department is all Indian and Chinese kids. You know what I mean? So, like, something's got to change. We're taking advantage of people in the wrong way.
All right, fellas, you ready for this one? Check this one out.
When segregation ended, right, black people were, when slavery ended, actually, black people were just forced wherever, right? So they had nowhere to go. And then there was laws put in place to put them into prison. And after...
It's okay. No. What's your name? Guys, what's your name?
Jackson.
It takes a lot of courage to come up here.
Yeah, no,
Let's just take a deep breath. Okay, I'm
I
not here to
know,
pick on you.
No,
and
I
appreciate it.
together.
No, it's okay.
I
know that
knew
this can be
was-
very intimidating getting a crowd like this. So just take a deep breath. Let me make your argument. I'm going to make your argument for you, and I'm going to tell you why I think it's wrong. Okay? Is that fair?
I mean,
Okay. So the argument that is being made, that you want to make, is that there's legacies of injustice.
Yes.
And that those legacies impact one generation after the other. And when those things get handed down, you have what is a system or a systemic issue that isn't just isolated in 2024. So the argument that you're making is that what happened in 1954 does impact 2024 of decade after decade after decade. Let me tell you my response to that. Of course, there is some truth to that. However, every culture, every person in this audience can point to issues that families or generations prior had that were able to overcome. So the question is, why is it that Black America is one of the only populations, that and Native American populations, that have not been able to overcome such evil, horrors, and injustices? Here's my perspective, and I want to hear what you have to say, is that the number one way to keep people out of poverty, lower the crime rate, and have a better society is whether or not you have a mom and a dad around. Would we agree that's an ideal? Yeah? Cool.
Yeah.
So what happened in 1964 is that 25% of Black youth were raised by a single mom. Today, it's nearly 75%, about 70%. So that means that 1 in 4 Black kids will have a father around. Only 1 in 4. That's the number one issue happening in the country, and it's not because of systemic racism. I'd like to hear what you have to say about that.
Okay, so I think I misjudged you at first. Like when you brought up the 1350 stat, I had like just assumed that it was like inherently like eugenics based kind of, you know? So, and that's where mine came from. Like, I think we are on the same page that like we know what the problem is. And that's what I mean. Like,
no,
the
and
education...
that's, thank you for saying that, because I think we actually have a lot more in common in this country than the media would ever believe.
No, definitely. Right? And like what my point was, I was trying to say is I don't think that we're doing enough to help these Black communities catch up, where as like they're underfunded and they're not, and they're over policed, and there's just these factors that are contributing to, like you said, these single parent households.
Yeah,
like,
so we're not going to agree on this. This is where we'll disagree, and that's okay. I have more of a view of Thomas Sowell on this, where he believes it's far more about culture, values, and worldview than stuff and over policing. I believe there's not enough police in Black neighborhoods. You're going to disagree with that. Let's not even get into it, okay? But I think we can ask a question, and I want your opinion. Why is it that the single motherhood rate in Black America went from 25% to 75% over 50 years, where America did become less racist?
like, why did it?
Yeah, so what caused Black America to go from one of the strongest nuclear family communities in the country to now the weakest by far?
I can't answer your question.
No, that's okay. No, that's great. And again, it's hard to get up and have these conversations. Here's my opinion. My opinion is that, yes, there was some social welfare that subsidized single motherhood, which means it's easier to get cash from the government if you say you are single than if you are married. I think we can agree that's stupid. That shouldn't happen, right? But I would love your perspective on this. Do you think in Black culture, getting married and staying with one woman for your entire life is elevated and celebrated?
No, not at all.
I think that's the problem.
I think
Rap
the
music.
problem stems from a lack of education.
Eric being
I
Rakim.
think these communities don't have. I don't think a lot of them have the proper education or learning from previous to realize what will lead them to a more successful future. I think that if we funded more education in these systems, then these men wouldn't be so focused on stuff like gang violence to
Yeah,
get protection or money or
you have a
other
great
stuff like that, and then end up in prison and then end up with their child having a single mother.
fair enough. So
Sorry, I didn't.
no, it's great. So there's a lot of examples that there's some merit to your argument, but it's more about the quality of education than the amount of money we spend on it.
Yeah.
Such as that's why I'm a big proponent of school choice and educational vouchers and opposing the teacher unions. But the core is this: is that the number one predictor for a kid of any skin color, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, is whether or not dad is around.
Right.
And I look as an outsider, albeit, at current black culture, right? From the athletes to the rap music to the music, I don't see the nuclear family elevated, nor is it an internal black cultural expectation. Now, I will ask some of the white individuals here in this audience, okay? If you guys got pregnant and all of a sudden you didn't even know who the father was around, how would your parents react? Not great, right? Yes? Unfortunately, in black America, this is kind of accepted. Would you agree?
I can't say. I grew up around a lot of white people, so I can't
All right,
say.
okay.
Like,
Well, so, but it is a fact that it is
sure.
accepted,
Yeah,
right?
so
that's the problem.
I'm
The
just saying
problem
I
is that it's a cultural norm that has then turned into the cycle of poverty. The cycle of poverty can break very quickly if fathers stayed with the women they impregnate.
But most of these fathers aren't just leaving. A large majority of these fathers are ending up in prison. Like
Okay,
this is
good point. Why do you go to prison?
because you commit crimes. But
Okay,
because
yeah.
the prison system has been
And
targeted.
it's not always the
against,
fathers. Mothers choose it.
against minorities.
Again, we're not going to
for-
agree here,
right,
and that's
we're not.
okay.
Yeah.
There's actually under enforcement of the laws when it
Under-
comes where there's, for example, only half of murders in Chicago get solved.
Right, but are
that
they
mean-
all black people though?
Almost all of them, yeah, like 80.
Well,
80
if they're not solved, how do we know that they're black people?
Well, because it's a black victim in a black neighborhood by a black gang. So it's
So-
like you can assume at a great approximation that in the west side of Chicago,
50% of the murders in Chicago that go unsolved are all black people.
not all.
dead in
No,
black
I said 85%. But we don't know who the purpose. But again, if you have a black victim at 2 a.m. in a black neighborhood, it's reasonable to say that it was a black on black crime. 90% of murders after 2 a.m. in Chicago are black on black crimes. I'm from Chicago.
Right.
I happen to know it.
So-
right. But
so-
no, but like half of all murders in Chicago are unsolved, which that means half of all murderers are walking free. So we have an under enforcement of laws. We have the ladies here in this audience should know this. You know that there's over 600,000 rape kits in this country that have not even been opened or tested, which means that there are women who say that they've been raped and their kits are not even put in the system. There are probably hundreds of thousands of rapists that walk free in this country.
Yeah, no, our system is
No, what
totally
I'm saying
terrible.
though, that's an under enforcement of laws though.
Yeah, because our system is terrible.
No, I know, but you said we have an over enforcement. I don't think we have enough people in jail.
You don't think we have enough people?
No, like I said,
yeah.
half of all murderers walk free. We don't even know who they are.
Okay, but and I
Okay. So, that was the black culture one, right? So,
Yeah, I don't think rap music helps that at all, man.
I don't think so. And the fact that a white man is speaking on it is hard to accept, probably.
Yeah.
It's
Which
hard.
is why people call it racist.
So to be honest, I'm, like for me, I wouldn't find myself in a position to be telling people that. You know what I mean? Like
He's from Chicago.
but I mean, he's from Chicago.
just
He's in a
quoting
debate,
Chicago
and that's the
stuff.
setting, and that's all those things, right? But I'm like, and I think that's where he's bold, and I think that's where he's getting under a lot of skin. Is like he's actually saying some shit out loud, whether you agree deeply or disagree deeply or whatever. He's saying it out loud, and is he saying a lot of things that people are thinking? Like
Pretty much.
the story of the emperor's new clothes. You know what I mean? The little kid's like, how come the king's naked, Dad? Why come he doesn't have any clothes on? The whole innocence of a child, all that bullshit, blah, 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 calling it what it really is. Everyone else is afraid to say what was really happening.
I see a lot of black people agree with him though.
He was talking about
That
The
kid
nuclear
wasn't
family.
necessarily disagreeing with him
No,
on
that
the
poor
on the
kid.
big points.
That poor kid.
Right.
I mean, but he's talking about the value of a nuclear family. He's talking about the value of a father in the home.
That's everything. You know what kind of piece of shit I would be if my dad wasn't in the home? Like, my parents probably should have got divorced. They were fucking insane.
Yeah.
But I would have been a fucking turd, bro. Like, I'd probably be in jail. Like, there's no way. I wouldn't have finished high school. I'd have never went in the military.
Right.
I would have never made it, man. So, like, my dad wasn't the greatest guy, but the fear of him and having him in the home was a huge difference maker. He's the reason I went into the military.
Right.
A little bit to get away from him.
Just get away from
get
him.
out of ripping. But I mean, the other part was like kind of he pushed me in that direction. You know what I mean? So, like, father in the home's super important, dude.
And he's out there saying it.
And doesn't have to just be white though. It's father in the home in general. White kids without a father in the home are shit turds.
Yeah.
Or weak
My name's
fathers.
Mike.
I know a couple of teenagers with a weak father.
Yes, agreed.
Hey, I seem to my very best friend and all my friends when I was in grade school, because my dad wasn't around. I always latched on. My friends all had fathers in their home, and they knew that I was being raised by a single mom. But because of my community, I mean, because not for whatever reason, not every dad can be there, but it seemed like, but I always had uncles. I always had my friends' parents that would, show me how to throw a football, how to play basketball, how to hit a curveball, all those types of things. I did have a lot of fathers in my personal community that kind of helped fill that void for me. And I feel very, very fortunate. I've even, one in particular, just in this past year, I was able to say thank you to, for helping fill that void for me. Because as you both know, I don't think, doctor or lawyer was what I'd have been most voted most likely to be in my senior year yearbook. You know what I mean? Obviously the best smile was out, so there's only negatives for me. So they just kind of
You and me both, Mike. You and me both, brother.
I know, buddy. I know. But you know what I mean? But I had people, because there were so many fathers that were home around in my life. And not that my father, I mean, my situation was different. He wouldn't have been in the home. But man, my father was half a world away. And back then, you couldn't FaceTime or WhatsApp and talk whenever you want, like you can now. It was, once a month, and it was $5 a minute, which was a lot of money back then.
I remember long distance. That was the thing.
Yeah.
I'll call after 8.
It's cheaper to call New York than it is Modesto.
Yeah.
Let him call us. Yes.
But but because the in our hometown, the family dynamic is more prevalent, I think that's why some of us, not all of us, but some of us that, are, in single parent homes, can, don't have it as bad, because we have those people to step in.
Someone.
And we all, like, it was a little more normal back then for an adult that wasn't your parent to check your ass if they saw you doing something.
My mom checked all my friends. They did that shit.
Or just strangers on the street. Like, I was part of the skateboarding assholes and ripping, but the number of times we got told to get the hell out of here by people we had no idea who they were. It's like, maybe we shouldn't be here.
Yeah, both of your moms mommed me. Very well. I get that. Yeah.
Just being checked by strangers. No one does that anymore.
Well, and your close friends, all the parents communicated.
Yeah.
They didn't have trackers or cell phones or, find my kid. They had to rely on cops and friends.
Oh, what is it? It is. All right, you guys, it is time for our reoccurring bit, our little breakdown, our little
Hey.
Gen X celebration here. We
Commercial
are
break.
Gen X kids, and you know what? Our music and our movies mean everything to us. This week's song of the week is
Recognize that drum beat yet?
Greg pulled this one out. Those of you watching, I just put a link. I just put a link in the description. If you guys want to join the show and speak on it, click that link, fill out the little bit of thing, put your name in there, accept cookies or whatever, and come in
Come on.
and speak on it, you guys. But right now, we're taking a mid-show break.
A little Blondie break.
This is not the first rap song, but I think this is the first rap song that charted.
I think this is a roller skating song.
This is a disco. I'm going to do cocaine in Los
Roller
Angeles.
rink.
I'm thinking more Roller King with the disco ball going.
Yes. You drive all night and you see a light and it comes right down and lands on the ground and out comes a man from Mars. I won't remember to take out the fucking garbage when I get home, but I'll remember the lyrics to the song 45 fucking years ago. Lincolns to Mercury and Subaru. On eating cars. Stop it. There was a delay and I kept going back and forth. All right. So, song of the week, Blondie, Rapture. It's a rap song. I think it's the first rap song that actually charted. But yeah. Anyways. Movie of the week. We're going to skip on over to this little folder over here called Diz Downloads and play this banger for you.
John Rambo,
movie of the
a
week.
drifter, just passing through their
I
town.
watch this once a year.
Morning. Headed north or south?
North.
Now jump in. I'll make sure you're heading the right direction, huh?
You got someplace I can eat around here?
There's a diner about 30 miles up the highway.
30 fucking miles.
Against me getting something here?
Yeah, me. I want you to book this gentleman for vagrancy, resisting arrest, carrying a concealed weapon.
They knew he was innocent.
Starting to dislike you. A lot.
And they didn't give a damn.
That's okay, Warren. Don't worry about the soap. He's tough. Just shave him. Try. Don't move. I don't want you to cut your own throat.
John Rambo, one man who's been pushed too far.
You're finished! You've gone as far as you're gonna go! Heading straight for the top. Right on top of him. There's no way out of here except through us.
He was hunted, trapped,
There he is! On the cliff!
and forced to fight back.
Don't push it. Don't push it. I'll give you a war you won't believe.
Teasel, you
knows
and
stuff.
all your men couldn't handle him before. Now, what makes you think you can handle him now?
Because God knows what damage he's prepared to do.
Is that an M60, bro? It's because of Rambo that we all know what M60s are. Yeah.
You don't seem to want to accept the fact that you're dealing with an expert in guerrilla warfare.
No Troutman.
Are you telling me
Only
that
one
200
thing
men
to
against your boy is a no-win situation for us?
You send that many, don't forget one thing. A good supply of body bags.
Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
This time, he's fighting for his life.
Yeah.
First blood.
That's the only time I went to the movie. We went to the movie theaters, the whole family, with my dad.
That's pretty neat. Boom. All right, little mid show break. We didn't come up with the spotlight, so let it ride.
No,
No,
we never came up with anything.
no.
Dang.
One of us has to remember that shit. All right. Hey, we do have a few more videos we're going to show you. The last one we left off was Black Culture. This one is. What is a woman?
That's a good question.
Biologically?
Yeah, we'll start
tell
with
me.
you. Go ahead.
Uterus.
The uterus, cool.
Uterus, hormones.
Are there other definitions of women that we should accept?
This is an important. This is
actually
definitely
not a
dating
silly
related,
question. This is
dating
super
related.
important. It ties with the other one.
It ties in with feminism too.
Yeah.
Sure. That's the ground. That's the fundamental
Question.
importance.
Fundamental.
Yeah.
Important.
How about this way? Anybody can chime in. Can someone that doesn't have a uterus that has
Wait, should we just go around and let
Yeah,
them-
sure. Go.
What is a woman?
A woman is someone with a uterus. However, a uterus doesn't always define a woman because, for example, you can have your uterus surgically removed. You're not any less of a woman because of that.
Should we have them all answer?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And then if you want to respond,
Shit
go
hair
ahead.
blows me away.
Yeah, I believe that a woman has a uterus,
So that would make me
Whatever
not a
my
woman.
friend said. Am I hot yet?
In essence.
Here, let's look
that up. I'm
and
sorry.
then if you want to
I was
respond, go ahead.
talking. Watch that.
Yeah, I believe that a woman has a uterus,
So that would make me not a woman. In essence.
Here, let's let the girls answer. Go ahead.
You're
So
asking
let's
if
let the girls
gender and
answer.
sex are synonyms, and that's the big debate. If you think the word woman is a synonym for the word female,
Here we go.
then you would say a woman has primary and secondary sexual characteristics. If you're saying the words woman and female are not synonyms, then you could include like trans people who call themselves women but don't have the first or primary or secondary characteristics. So that's the debate, right?
Anyone with a uterus.
I mean, biologically, it's someone that has XX chromosomes.
Yes, someone with a uterus.
XX chromosomes.
I mean, yeah, I think there's men and women. There's not really anything in between. I think you need to be born with uterus, vagina, boobs.
Yes.
Everything.
Well, intersex is more common than red hair or green eyes.
It's not true, but that's okay. It's a
Is
good
it about
talking
1%,
point. It's
right?
not true. No,
It's
not
not?
even close. But it's a good talking point.
What is it then? Because it's not
like
zero.
It's like 0.001%. But
they
it
exist.
is more. It is. It
0.001.
totally exists. Yes. No, I only pick on you for
No,
that
no.
because.
If I'm wrong about the number, but they do exist. So we do have people that
100%,
are
yes.
that are not male, sort of, not female, sort of.
But it's a deformity, right?
Right,
So
but they're not
it's-
choosing to be trying to become.
Of course,
Yeah.
no, I'm
Trying to
not
become
talking
a
about
male.
something
So
else.
for example, if I was born without a leg, that's absent of being two-legged. It doesn't create a new category of something, right? So,
Okay.
and it only intersex is XXY. So they're either more female or more male. They're usually more female, but sometimes they cannot have both sex organs, aka they cannot impregnate themselves. So it's
Hermaphrodite.
Yeah,
Right, yeah,
exactly. Let me ask it this way: does anyone believe that biological men can become a woman?
I think people can call themselves unicorns at this point in time if they want to. So if that's what they choose to say, that's what it is. But becoming a woman is a very, in short, no.
I'm not going to deny trans people as women.
Okay, so can I pause there? So if, as a woman, can womanhood then just be appropriated? Someone can then say, I am what you are.
No.
You said you're not going to deny trans women.
Yeah.
So Dylan Mulvaney,
Mm-hmm.
who's a biological man who thinks he's a preteen woman, is he a woman?
I feel like I'm just not in the position to tell him he's not a woman. If he says, if they say that they are a woman, I have no, you know what I mean? I'm not going to be like, are you a woman? Are you a man? That's nothing to do with me, honestly.
Got it. So if
that wasn't the question,
right?
I hear what she's saying, and I get that's a safe place to be,
Right.
And I get that. That's neutral, but that wasn't really the question. That was okay.
That's a
I'm
fence
30.
rider.
If I said I was 12, would you acknowledge that?
Yes, I would.
You would. Okay.
Yeah.
I would acknowledge it as dumb.
It's dumb. So why is it dumb for age? But I guess your answer previously.
Yeah. Mhm.
But why is it with sex or gender, we kind of get really cautious and saying, well, I'm not going to deny it. But if I said I was a wolf, you would laugh at me. If I said I was a giraffe, you'd laugh at me. But with sex and gender, we're like, oh, you could be whatever you want.
Because it's, I don't know, honestly, I've been looking at it from different perspectives ever since that issue kind of came up. Because I'm also, like I said, religious and also believe in the Bible. So it's like really conflicting, you know? But I feel like I heard this one thing on it where it was saying that it's almost like, I'm not saying this is my concrete belief, but I just heard this, which kind of made me think a little bit more about it. And they're saying how it's kind of like a mental illness. Like, you know how someone could be 30 and they could truly believe they're 12. Like, those people really exist. It's a mental illness.
Yes.
Those people exist. You don't deny them that they exist. You don't tell them, yeah, you're 30. Like, what are you doing with your life? Like, you acknowledge that it's a mental illness and you treat the person as such.
Great point. So if somebody, you're in healthcare, came to you with, and they said, I'm anorexic, so I think I'm fat. And they said, I want liposuction, which means the forcible removal of fat. Should you give them that surgery?
Of course not, because that would be compromising their actual health.
Hold on. But you just said that we have to affirm somebody's mental illness. They want liposuction. Why shouldn't they get it?
No, I didn't mean affirm their mental illness as an accept, oh, you are 12. I'm saying we shouldn't treat them as you shouldn't go up to them, to the 12, the 30.
The 30-year-old.
She's trying to say we don't challenge their delusions. We don't feed into them. We don't challenge them unless they're unsafe or whatever. We can roll with it. You want to be a dog, but you're here for your appointment. Be a dog and you're here for appointment. You know, follow the. You know what I mean?
Even
it's like
that's getting a little out of control, though.
Well, but she's talking what they were talking about in the mental health setting. Now he's talking about like in real life and other settings. So again, they're like, it's still kind of apples and bananas. They're still kind of mixing things, right?
Yeah.
I work in mental health and it's okay to use pronouns. It's okay to use their preferred genders. It's okay to use their preferred names. It's okay because that's they get to choose their identity. And like what she's saying, the other thing, I'm not advocating for her or anything. I'm just saying, but what she's also saying is like, it's not my place. It's not my role to challenge that. That would be for a therapist. If they're seeing therapists, that would be for their, that would be for their therapist. If they're seeing a therapist for that, my role with them would be help them get a job, help them get a housing, help them get, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to roll with it. It's not my place to tell them.
It's not your place, but it's also like it's not your responsibility to lie to yourself and the world about things. Or I don't know. I don't know, dude. I wouldn't want to do your job.
It's easy.
You're in the thick of it.
It's easy once you kind of just, you know what it is? It's my personal values aren't being challenged or are in danger. It doesn't rub off. I'm not going to be swayed or, influenced or by anything. You know what I mean? I don't have to label it and I don't have to, you know what I mean? I don't have to treat it any kind of way. I get to go home at 5:00 and it just goes away. It just goes away with my phone and everything, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? However, you know what keeps me going back every day?
You get to help people.
It's the privilege of serving this fucking community, bro. I love the people in it. I love all of those people. Everybody, everyone, all of them. The violent ones, the mean ones, the nice ones.
Yeah, that's what we're called to do.
Purple-haired ones, the tall ones, the skinny ones.
But not to lie to people about the crazy shit that they say or something, I guess. Charlie describes it better.
He does. And you know what? I think this is one. I chose this one because for me, I get what he's saying and I get what she's saying, and they're kind of mismatched. They're not.
Yeah, they're almost having they're having different conversations.
She's not answering the question he's asking, vice versa. You know what I mean? It's a mismatch, right? So they're both kind of right, but they're in different scenarios and different dimensions, so to speak. They're existing at the same time, but different places, right?
Thinks he's 12, which is a thing.
And you shouldn't, because that's how people talk to trans people, right? They'll go up to them and be like, ha ha, you think you're a woman. Treat them with that disrespect and all that disdain. Whereas if you see the 30-year-old who's a 12-year-old, you don't go up to them telling them that they're 30. You accept that they have a mental illness.
Of course.
And you
so
know what I mean?
Let's apply it to the trans thing, the 30-year-old, 12-year-old, and the liposuction thing. Wouldn't it make more sense to treat the person and say, you're not what you think you are, rather than affirming the lie that they think there's something else? Because in the liposuction example, anorexia, you'd be like, no way would we give you forcible removal of fat if you're anorexic.
But they'll just go to the next doctor who will.
Will they?
The argument for no lipo is coming from the medical professional, a specialist, not from the average person. The average person may get a lot more resistance challenging trans people than maybe a therapist would that they're choosing to see.
Right. Yeah. Same thing.
So let's, you know what I mean? They're, again, two different, same time, different places, different dimensions, right? They're like, they're not, those don't happen at the same time and place.
Somebody qualified to make the call.
Like who? Okay, let me ask you this. Devil's advocate. And you're required to answer for the entire planet. Who am I qualified? Out of all of my qualifications, who is it legal for me to go up to and tell them no trans for you?
No, it's not. No, I don't think that's our job to run around challenging people on their delusions.
Hey, can I
like
chime
that.
in with something?
Yeah.
In my opinion, if you want to say that you're, and it always seems like it's always men wanting to be women is like probably in the mid to high 90th percentile.
Yeah.
Of,
No one wants to be a
of
man.
these issues.
No one wants to be a fucking dude.
Even though I think it confuses our children and whatever, if you want to dress like that and grow your hair out and whatever, hey, that's okay. My problem is I don't want you in the restroom at a
Shoving it down my
restaurant with my
throat.
wife. I don't want you going into my school and telling my kid that you're normal and this is acceptable and whatever. I mean, do whatever you want to do in your time and your space, as long as you're not hurting people and pushing it and making other people have to not be comfortable is my problem. I don't care if you want to say that you're a dog or whatever you want to be, or a furry or whatever, but it's when you push it on other people and make them feel uncomfortable living their routine lives.
And now they
You
do,
understand what
because
I'm saying?
it's in
Like
movies
I
and
don't
on TV and stuff now. It's everywhere. It's put in our face no matter what.
I don't
just saw an
think
interview with Snoop Dogg talking
I
about
don't think
this.
trans or cross dressers should be reading to our kids. I
No.
think parents should be reading to their kids.
And it
You know,
shouldn't
I
be in,
think
it shouldn't be
teachers
in
should be
Disney
reading.
movies either. We shouldn't have to
Yes.
explain this to our 4-year-olds.
All righty. Here's our final video for the evening. And it's a trans kid.
Say I'm a transgender male. What age should kids be able to get things like hormone therapy? Because I don't know what's true, what's not.
Tell me, are you comfortable telling me your story?
I've known that since like 3rd grade, and I'm currently 19, almost 20. I've known basically since then. I didn't start going by like a different name until 7th and 8th grade. I just don't know, like with the whole medical stuff, like what's true, what's not, what's helpful, because I've heard so many different opinions.
First of all, thank you so much for that.
Yeah, of
and
course.
So I'm going to have an opinion that very few people will ever tell you, which is I want you to be very cautious putting drugs into your system in the pursuit of changing your body.
Mm-hmm.
I instead encourage you to work on what's going on in your brain first. I think what you need first and foremost is just a diagnosis.
Mm-hmm.
Just someone that is going to listen to what you've gone through, listen to what else is going on. My prayer for you, and again, very few people will say this, I actually want to see you be comfortable in how you were born.
Yeah.
I know that you might not feel that way, but I think that is something that you can achieve. I think that with the right team and the right people, you don't have to wage war on your body, you can learn to love your body.
That was a nice thing to say.
Did he dismiss her identity? Does
No,
she
that's
have
what
the
I mean.
right
He
to be
didn't
who
challenge
she is?
her. He's not. That's the approach, and he's not qualified to make that call either.
Right.
But he also didn't challenge her, tell her she's wrong. It's just, in my opinion, I think you could do this. That's encouraging.
See, honey, say it louder in the back, or say it louder for the people in the back. Love it.
Yeah, the competing in sports is a whole nother thing too.
So,
Absolutely not.
You know what? I threw a few things out there last year when there was a few of those popping up in popular news, and man, I got comments from a whole bunch of folks on that one.
Yeah,
yeah, I did. We might have to cover that whole topic. Anywho, so
Can I say one thing on that?
yeah, of course. Please chime in.
As soon as a person that is born a biological woman can have a 100-yard rushing game in any NFL
Running 4.540.
yeah, then let's start thinking about it. But until that happens, then it's just men beating up on women, in my opinion.
Yeah, I get it, especially contact sports. Well, yeah. Again, I hear you, man. I agree. So
Sometimes I think, didn't Escalon have a female player when we were in high school?
oh, there was like Pop Warner
But was
football.
she a
There was
kicker?
always a girl every now and then. You know what I mean? And that was cool. We didn't think
Every
nothing
once
of
in a
it.
while, there's a tough guy chick that wants to go up and try and play male sports.
But it
and
wasn't about
stuff, but-
trans back then. It was about a
Yeah.
girl wanting to play football. And you know what?
And you
Honestly,
still had to earn your spot. We didn't lower the standards to make the game
no,
easier.
we hit as hard as we could. And our fear was that girl would not stick us.
Right.
Because getting
Yeah, dude,
sticking or
right.
getting stuck in football was all about it. That's what we had. We measured our stick
You know,
marks
when
on our helmet.
girls wrestling started with girls wrestling boys.
Telling you.
And now there are schools that have just girls wrestling, and you know, to be competitive, you know, yeah.
I have seen some girl wrestlers that smash on all the dudes on their team though.
You never seen one win state.
Yeah.
I don't know if is there one that's ever been to state, because then
I want to
that's
reach out to
impressive.
Tony. Tony would
Yeah.
know. Tony Cardoza.
Tony would know.
Cardoza, come chime in.
You would know. All right, Mike. Hey, hang tight, brother. But that's gonna do it for us. We're gonna wrap this. We're gonna wrap this little shindig up. I want to, thank you guys for tuning in and hanging out with us, like you do each and every week. And this topic was pretty. We didn't make a big hot deal out of it, but this is a big hot deal topic. People are losing their jobs, losing their minds, losing freedoms over
Friends,
this
and
whole
family
friends and
and-
family over all of this. You know what I mean? So thank you guys for giving us, I this is so dumb to say it, but it means it, a safe place to talk about this shit, right? I get it. I'm old school. We didn't have it like that, but I come to appreciate places like this. So with that being said, I do want to close with I watched a lot of Charlie Kirk videos because he was the change my mind guy. He was the guy going debating these kids in these college campuses. It was neat to watch him. I didn't really get to know him until the last, maybe 6 months. And then definitely after his assassination, did I, really open my eyes to what he had to say. Right. And it wasn't the funeral. It wasn't the stadium one. It was the memorial 3 days later. I think it was when his wife got up and gave that fiery speech. You don't know what you've done. You don't know what you've created, you know what I mean? And all that kind of stuff. So
we're seeing it, man.
That was pretty powerful for me.
There's some kids just went to a teacher that I know, a high school teacher, and just asked if he would sponsor them to start a Turning Point USA chapter in their high school here in Modesto.
Yeah.
They created 1 million Charlie Kirks is what
They
happened.
did.
The churches are full and the kids are becoming conservative.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing.
That's going to do it
As
for
a
us tonight.
dad of a 28-year-old, I'm telling you, kids are already turning conservative before Turning Point. That's
because all the stuff's in their face.
That's going to do it for us tonight, folks. Want to give a shout out to everybody. Mike, thank you for jumping in on the show, man.
Oh, yeah.
Always love you, bro. Always love you, man. So
love
thank
you too,
guys.
fellas.
Peace out, everybody.
Late.
Hey, Mike, you like our new background?
I love it.
It's the Wayne's World garage.
It's like it's less than an inch by inch square for me right now. So
Oh, God, yes. There we go. How's that?
love it. Love it.
That's us. All right, fellas. All right, everybody. We out. Peace out, everyone.